This case stands out as one of the most shocking murder cases in recent memory due to the nature of the crime, the involvement of a law enforcement officer, and the personal relationship that underpinned the motive. So sit down, grab yourself a mocha as we go through the double homicide carried out by Devin Williams. Devin Williams was 26 years old and had been serving as a sheriff's deputy in Alameda County, California. His role in law enforcement gave him access to weapons and authority, factors that played a critical role in how the crime unfolded. However, beneath his professional exterior, Williams had become entangled in a personal crisis that would later escalate into deadly violence. Williams had been involved in an affair with Maria Tran, a nurse who lived with her husband, Benison Tran, and their son. Maria and Devin's relationship was secret, but evidence revealed that there was turmoil and that it had become a source of emotional tension for both parties. While Maria was legally married to Benison, the affair with Williams strained her marriage. The relationship between Devin Williams and Maria Tran began while they were both employed in Alameda County, California. Maria, 42, worked as a nurse at John George Psychiatric Hospital, and it was there that she met Devin Williams, who was a deputy sheriff. Their affair reportedly developed when Maria was still married to her husband, Benison Tran, aged 57. Though married, Maria continued living with Benison, and as the relationship with Williams progressed, tensions grew. In August 2022, Maria attempted to break off the affair, leading to increasingly concerning behavior from Williams. On August 8, 2022, a month before the fatal shooting, Williams showed up at the Tran household, ringing the doorbell repeatedly and demanding to speak with Maria. Both Maria and Benison contacted the police, fearing for their safety. However, due to Williams' status as a deputy sheriff, he received what the family described as preferential treatment, and no significant action was taken against him at that time. On the night of September 6, 2022, Williams again appeared at the Tran's home in Dublin, California. This time, he entered the home with his service weapon, shooting both Maria and Benison. Maria's mother, brother, and her young son were present in the house at the time of the attack. Maria's mother even tried to convince Devin to put down his weapon before he shot her daughter and son-in-law. Both victims were shot on the head and neck, dying at the scene. After the shootings, Williams fled the scene and led police on a brief manhunt before surrendering to the California Highway Patrol the next day. He was arrested in the Coalinga area, about 150 miles from the scene.
An Alameda County Sheriff's deputy was formally charged today with 2 counts of murder for allegedly killing a married couple in Dublin. Our crime reporter Henry Lee was in court today and joins us now with the new information in this case. Henry.
Well, Heather, the gunshots were heard on a 911 call made by the husband as he was killed. And now the deputy's been charged with special circumstances murder. That means he could face life in prison without parole if he's convicted. Alameda County Sheriff's Deputy Devin Williams Jr., now a criminal defendant charged with 2 counts of murder in the shooting deaths of a married couple in Dublin. A crime even more shocking because the alleged 24-year-old gunman had a promising future.
He's a bright, caring, articulate individual, and it's a tragedy.
Authorities say Williams shot and killed 57-year-old Benison Tran and his wife of 2 decades, Maria Tran, at the couple's home in Dublin. Both were shot in the head and neck. Investigators say Williams had been involved in a romantic relationship with Maria Tran, who was a nurse. Sources tell me the killings may have resulted from jealousy connected to a love triangle. I've learned Benison Tran, a retired civil engineer for the city of Santa Clara, called 911 to report an intruder at their home at 12:45 Wednesday morning. 6 gunshots could be heard on the 911 call, and he dropped the phone. Authorities say Williams took off in his car. When Dublin police arrived and asked who did it, a witness said Devin, and he's a cop. 6 shell casings were found at the crime scene. Police say the 9mm ammunition matches those used by the sheriff's office. On Friday, the Alameda County DA charged the deputy with 2 counts of murder and special circumstances of multiple murder and murder to avoid arrest, but his arraignment was delayed. Relatives and friends of the deputy declined to comment afterward. A cousin tells me 42-year-old Maria Tran was kind-hearted, loving, and always went above and beyond as a frontline nurse during the COVID pandemic.
I expect that the defense will reveal itself as the case proceeds.
Defense attorney Jesse Garcia would not comment on the evidence.
The murders shocked the community and led to questions about how Williams, despite being flagged as unfit during psychological evaluations, was able to continue working as a deputy and retain his service weapon. The case was embroiled in further controversy when family members of the victims had filed a wrongful death lawsuit claiming that Alameda County failed to act on the earlier incident in August and questioning how Williams, who had failed a psychological exam, was allowed to serve in law enforcement. The psychological audit, which took place shortly after Williams' arrest, revealed that around 5% of Alameda County deputies, including Williams, were deemed not suited for their roles. The trial has also been controversial due to decisions surrounding the charges. While initially facing double murder charges with enhancements and special circumstances which would guarantee life without parole, the Alameda County District's Attorney's Office moved to drop these enhancements, sparking outrage among the victims' families.
Justice for Maria and Benson. 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 Justice for Maria and Benson.
Maria's sister, Jenny Wong, accused DA of offering a sweetheart deal to law enforcement, while the defense argued that Williams was emotionally compromised and blinded by love when he committed the murders. During the trial, prosecutors presented a strong case, relying on a combination of forensic evidence, testimony, and witness accounts to demonstrate that Williams had committed premeditated murder. One of the most damning pieces of evidence was the fact that Williams used his service weapon, the very tool he was trained to use in defense of others, to commit the killings. The defense, for its part, attempted to argue that the crime was a result of a momentary lapse in judgment, fueled by emotional turmoil and romantic conflict. However, the prosecution countered that Williams had plenty of time to reconsider his actions as he drove to the Tran home, and that the calculated use of his firearm indicated clear intent to kill. On October 3rd, 2024, the jury delivered its verdict, guilty of first-degree murder on both counts. Devin Williams was convicted for the premeditated killing of both Maria and Benison Tran. His sentencing is scheduled for November 12, 2024, and he faces a sentence of 50 years to life in state prison. Given the severity of the crime and the involvement of a law enforcement officer, the case is likely to be remembered for years as a tragic instance of betrayal and abuse of power. The conviction of Devin Williams brought a sense of closure to the families of the victims, but the broader implications of the case have continued to resonate. The fact that a trusted law enforcement officer used his position and access to a weapon to commit such a heinous crime has led to public debate over the mental health of officers, domestic violence, and the need for greater accountability in law enforcement. Alameda County District Attorney Pamela Price acknowledged the gravity of the case, emphasizing the trauma experienced by the Tran's family's son and the community grief over the loss of Maria and Benison Tran. That is all for the case of Devin Williams. Don't forget to subscribe so you're notified on my next true crime case, and like the video if you really did like the video. Also comment down below your thoughts on this case, along with any others you would like me to look into. It could be my next one.